Hello, and thank you for joining College 2 Consulting. Today's class is going to be about how to structure your resume and to highlight the right strengths. A lot of people think they know how to do resumes. In my opinion, they don't. There aren't a lot of results. There aren't numbers. It's a laundry list of skills rather than what you actually did, and I really don't like that. Instead, it needs to be very concise and very efficient. So I'm going to show you how to do a resume. Resumes need to show results. So let's just talk about the parts of a resume. First, at the top is your name and your contact information, your email, your phone number, address, whatever. Then you have education. Here you talk about your college education. I really do not like when people put in their high school education still because it doesn't really do anything anymore. You're in college going to consulting. This is probably where you just want to focus on college. Plus, it takes up space. You have only one page, a very, very limited amount of real estate. Say what your university is, major, minor, expected graduation date. Now, here's a little trick. A lot of people just put in their cumulative GPA. I have a 3.5 out of 4, whatever. I also recommend putting your major GPA if your major GPA is higher than your cumulative GPA. So, for instance, let's say your major GPA, you're majoring in, I don't know, economics or something. Let's say your cumulative GPA is a 3.5 out of 4 for whatever reason. You did really, really terrible or something in, I don't know, some history class, whatever. If your major GPA is phenomenal, 3.9 out of 4, put it on there. It will help highlight that you're really good at what you are majoring in and what you're studying. Okay. Then what you put in, say you have a section of work experience and you talk about internship, the location, your role, your title, and results. What this means is I think you should have 3 bullets, and that's about it. And these 3 bullets don't have to be actually one line. They can be one sentence. So you would say that you manage this by doing this, which resulted in this. Second one is you design this by doing this, which is projected to do this. And maybe last one is you analyze this by doing this, which is expected to do this, and discovered this. Do the same thing again for another type of work experience in another industry. And then you have your leadership role. And under leadership role, this is really on-campus stuff or stuff that's not work related. So talk about clubs, talk about community involvement that you have. And this is a very important section to show that you are engaged with the community as well. And you follow the same type of structure on how to answer results. And we'll walk through that later. And the last thing is put an interest and activity section. Talk about languages that you speak, actual interests, some skills that you have. Talk about Microsoft, Excel, whatever you want to say. But put stuff down here. Even say that you like running or you like traveling, whatever. But this gives a little bit more humanness to the resume. So maybe someone will find something and will want to talk to you about it. An example I have is I do something called jiu-jitsu, which is a martial art, and one of my interviewers actually saw it and said, oh, you do jiu-jitsu, and it turned out that we both compete and we both had a great time talking about it. Okay, so here are some other things though to consider when writing your resume. First one is that resume screeners only look at a resume for about a minute to a minute and a half. So you spend days and days and days on polishing this and making sure you have the right word. You're using manage instead of led, and you're doing all the stuff, and interviewers will screen it for a minute to a minute and a half. Don't be discouraged, but that means that you have to be very succinct and very clean in how you write your resume. So as I mentioned before, bullets need to be concise, but you also need to put in results. So you should say which resulted in, or in order to, which is predicted to, projected to. An example is your resume could have this as a bullet. Developed a marketing strategy for an on-campus club, which resulted in a 30% increase in membership. Okay. Also, it's very, very important to highlight your most important accomplishments at the top of your resume. So if you have internship 1, you have 3 really good results. Put the most impactful one at the top. And then as you go down, it'll be less and less impactful because that's what they're going to read first. Okay. So let's just do a resume together. Let's say this. You put your first, middle, last name at the top, and then you put your contact information, your address, zip code, your cell number, email, and again, please put a professional email, your name at your school's email or Gmail account or something. Don't put something like AOL or, I don't know, campus boy 95 or something. Don't put that at all. Put something that's very professional that has your name in it. Okay, then we have our education section. So you talk about your school, your university, bachelor's in arts or science, and when you're expected to graduate. Your major GPA, as I mentioned before, and then your cumulative GPA. So this will catch the eye and only put the major GPA if it's better than the cumulative or if it's equal to it. Okay, there's no if it's lower, don't put it at all. Then you have experience. So first you're going to put in the month and year when you were working at whatever this place is. You say your internship, company name, the location of it, your title, and then you do this. So one example, so you could say this: you analyzed X by doing Y, which resulted in X dollars and an increase of Z by Z%. So analyze customer satisfaction scores by looking through data from past customer satisfaction scores, which resulted in discovering that it resulted in improvement of our internal consulting practice, which increased our customer satisfaction scores by 20% in the following year. That's what I want on a resume. And numbers are very, very important. The reason why is because it communicates a result, but also it slows the reader down. If they're just kind of glancing over words, it's easier to hop and glance over words, but when you have a number, it's like an anchor, and it just slows the person who's skimming over down, because they'll see, okay, 40%, got it, and they'll move on. So they know that you did something with increasing something by 40%. Another bullet you can have is you managed X by doing Y, which is projected to generate X number of dollars. Now, here's what I get. A lot of students say, well, I don't know, it didn't finish up. And I say, yeah, your project did not finish, but it had to have a projected result. What was the result? What was it expected to be? How much money were expected to find or to generate or to save? Put that stuff in as projected. And another example is developed X by doing whatever in order to increase Z by Z%. So you developed a new tool by building it in Excel or whatever, which is in order. So here's another thing you can do, another trick. So you could say not projected to, but in order, the purpose of it was to make time for entering information easier by 20%. And how I'm measuring 20% is the time that it would have taken you without this tool to the time it would have taken you with this tool. That difference is the percentage. Okay? So that's one example. We have 3 bullets now for a company. Then you would do the same thing for another company. You have your title. We do the same exact thing. You developed this, you implemented this, you researched this, okay? But start off with that action verb of what you did. You analyzed X by doing what, which is resulted to do what, okay? Let's go to the next section of your resume, leadership. Again, it's very, very similar. You just talk about your club, and you say what your title or your role is in that club, president, secretary, whatever you want to say. Again, we do the same thing. You just say you analyze this, you did this. And a lot of my students say, well, I don't have this numbers for my club. I say, you can figure it out. How many students did you have when you started? How many students did you have the following year? Or how many students did you have that regularly came to your club events? Why? How much money did you raise for your club? Did you have any other events, and how successfully were they pulled off? How many people did you have to talk to get that stuff pulled off? So you can figure out these numbers. It's not that hard. I do it with my students all the time. And so teaching you how to do this will really help you build out your resume to make it noticeable for recruiters. And then we have our last section, which is activities and achievements. So here you just put the year. And you say you have this award from this club or whatever, and you have another award and maybe another award. You just talk about some accomplishments you might have. Under additional information is where you put, here are my skills. I know how to do Excel, PowerPoint, coding, whatever. I know Microsoft Suite. And my interests are traveling, food, whatever. So this all should amount to 1 page. And as I have said before, keep it to 1 page. Not a page in a Word, 1 page. Play with the margins. Save it as a PDF whenever you send it. If you send it as a Word doc, if someone has a Mac instead of a PC, it will look different, and vice versa. Okay? So that's how to do a resume. Try it out and try to put in these results. Every bullet should have some type of result. Okay? All right. Take a note with that, and I will see you in the next class.